Episode 10 of the Branding Iron is underway. We have a special guest, Vrinda from XL Solutions.
XN Solutions.
XN Solutions. That's embarrassing. Don't get the name right. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, I am Vrinda, like you had introduced me. I'm from XN Solutions.
I got that part right. So
yeah, right? I mean, the complicated part, the name, yeah. But I'm the founder of XN Solutions, and what we do at XN Solutions, simply put, is we help business owners start to think data-driven marketing, and that's a huge loaded sentence. But
that's your tagline, right?
Yeah, think data-driven marketing. Really, that's what it is.
I like it. It's a really good tagline.
Thank you.
It's really hard to come up with a good tagline. And as you know from our business group, no tagline, no problem.
I know, right?
But so many of them, but I can really understand just from listening to that think data-driven marketing. I'm thinking, okay, cool. Yeah. You must be doing something and analyzing it and then finding out whether it works and then changing it or doing something. So
yeah.
So what do you specialize in?
So you hit the nail on the head. So first of all, what we realized when I started XN Solutions, the reason I started it was because I realized that especially small business owners had two main issues. One, they were hiring these freelancers who they claimed would take their money and run away and not do anything, which to me is a big no-no. I'm in the industry. The industry I'm in, I don't want it having a black cloud over it, a gray cloud over it.
Yeah.
Second is that they start with passion, but they don't really know how to translate that passion into revenue, because ultimately your business is revenue. It's dollars and cents. So what we do at Think Data Driven Marketing is we take their passion, what their vision is from that business, and help them translate it into goals and KPIs, which are key performance indicators, so that they're able to individually track each data point that's important and relevant to their growth, not to the whole US, not to the world, specifically to them, and based off of what their product or their service
So how did you get to this point? For now, you have a background in working at Google, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that.
Well, that's how I got there. At 19, so I'm from India, and
let's go even farther back. Let's go to what they call the origin story. So
yes.
Let's try that.
I was born in...
As a superhero marketer, how did it start?
So I'm from India, like I said. I graduated with my bachelor's of business admin at 19, back home in India, and just like any teenager, I just didn't know what to do with my time. And
is your family here, or?
Extended family is here in the U.S., yes, not immediate family.
Okay.
So it's me.
Travel back.
Truly a solopreneur.
Okay, all right.
And no need to travel. Technology does that for me.
Okay.
Or enables me to be with family. But so I graduated at 19, didn't know what to do, and then a family member told me that Google was hiring, and this was back in like 2003, 2004-ish.
Okay, wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, and I literally looked at them and I was like, because back then Google was just this blank page. They didn't have Google Doodles. They didn't have any of that stuff. It was just this blank page and the search bar, right?
Pure search engine.
Yeah.
And some AdWords, right?
Yeah, AdWords back then. Yeah. And so I had, I asked them, I was like, what do you think? You think I'm dumb? Why is a blank page hiring? This does not make any sense. You just put something in, you get something out, whatever. And she's like, no, look it up. And I really thought
so you Googled it. And
then I was like, what is this Google thing? And, and I remember clearly, I actually searched for them and I scrolled all the way down on the page and it said about Google, learn more, whatever, down, really small. And I clicked on them and then my mind was blown. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? What is going on here? And so I interviewed with them, got picked to be part of their team, AdWords, which is what they recently changed AdWords to be called Ads. Yeah. But I was with that team and we'd help clients in Australia with optimizing their ad performance and consulting with them and how to improve really the performance of their ads. And so that's what triggered.
So you really learned the ins and outs of this.
Yes.
Working for the source.
Yes, and the coaching was, oh my God, obviously it's Google, but it was intense. I'm not gonna lie, it was intense. Right from interviewing to them to training with them, it was a lot of work. But it was. So
where did you live in the Bay Area for that, or where did
No, it was in India.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, they just moved to India then. I want to say about like their 36th, 37th hire.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, they taught me this whole new world, and I was like, all right, this is very interesting.
So how did you get to come to the States then?
Good question. So I, having interacted with a lot of expats, my manager was from California, and then we had people from Dublin, Ireland, and all these different places. And I noticed something. I could tell the difference when a person spoke with just their clarity of thought and how they presented themselves, and also how they viewed business as a whole. It's not just like, one track mind. It's the look at the big picture. And the one difference I noticed when I was speaking with all these people was that they had their masters, and it taught them a different way of looking at business. It's not just marketing. It's not just finance. It's not just this. It's how does this affect the big picture or impact the big picture?
Yeah.
Which was very interesting to me. And so I decided I want to get my master's. If I spent the amount I would have spent to come here, I could have gotten a really good education in India. But having been exposed to the cultures and people and all of that, I wanted to have that international cultural exposure. So I decided to come straight to Arizona. Didn't have family here. Hopped on a plane, got here.
Man, what did you think what time of year did you arrive?
I came here just before, just at the brink of when the recession hit.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you must have thought, man, this place is kind of a ghost town.
No. I mean,
why are there so many empty shopping centers and there's no traffic?
No. I mean, back then Arizona was pretty no traffic. Yeah.
Okay.
So in that sense, zombie zone definitely.
Yeah.
But no, it was actually really nice. It was nice, and like
what time of year was it?
It was December. That was
Okay,
the last Christmas, because I wanted to spend Christmas with family before I left.
Usually what people notice when they come here for the first time and it's summertime is they get off the plane and you get onto the ramp thing. And there's a little bit of a gap, and you walk outside and you're not even outside, and it's like super scorching hot.
Right. I know, this big, huge.
You're like, oh man.
I know. I'm not in Dubai, am I?
Yeah. So, December, and then
came here, went to the Grand Canyon University here in Phoenix, decided to come to Arizona and didn't go anywhere where I have family. I'm one of two kids. I have an older brother from India. My mom was so OCD and so protective. I'd never left the country. She's like, you hop on a plane in India, get off in the US. I don't want you getting off any other continent.
Yeah, well, I was planning on just randomly going around the world.
Well, if there was, because if you have connecting flights and stuff.
Yeah, you have to get a direct flight.
I know. So that's what I did. And I found this room on rent in the ghetto.
Here in Phoenix?
Yeah, but I found it in India off Craigslist. I just directly came here. And it was a very interesting time. I mean, I learned so much.
What part of town?
Like 35th to 32nd Avenue-ish, and between Bethany Home Road and Glendale.
Okay, yeah, kind of right near the university.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, because I was like, oh my
God.
God.
And at the height of the recession.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was fun.
And you moved away from that area now?
Yeah, I moved away from that area. I remember going to Food City and getting my bus pass.
Yeah.
And waiting for the bus and doing that fun stuff. But hey, I have fun memories. So it helped me get to where I am today. So I'm not regretting any bit of it.
Yeah, I don't either. Like, I came from Canada before. I was born in South Africa, but...
really?
Yeah.
Oh, my. Okay.
So coming from Canada, the last place I lived for a long time there was not the wealthiest part.
Yeah.
And rode the bus for quite a while, and I wouldn't want to go back and do that all over again, but I'm glad I did it.
Yeah. It helps you realize. I mean, it helped me realize how much I was not trusting myself, because I had people to do it back home. And I'm so thankful that I made that decision not to go to California or New York or anywhere where family was.
Kind of be grounded into
It helped me trust myself, helped me create these relationships of friendships, which are really, some of them are just as important, if not more, than family. And we still stay in touch,
Okay, cool.
So it's been really good.
So now, when did you start your own company and leave Google?
Oh, I left Google before I came to this country even.
Oh, wow, okay.
Because I did my bachelor's, got with Google, figured I wanted to do my master's.
Okay, so then...
Quit Google.
Yeah.
worked in Mumbai for just a little while. I was preparing for all the exams that I needed to come here.
Mumbai, it sounds like a fascinating place. I've looked into it actually.
You have?
Yeah, I have a group of friends that I still keep in touch with from Canada. And one of the things we always pitch at each other is we should all go to this place, or we should all go to that place, like the Faroe Islands or Antarctica, and one of them was Mumbai. And the one guy gave a link on the Dallawalas and the Dabbawalas.
Oh, the Dabbawalas, yes.
Yeah, right?
Yes, yes. That's an interesting... I mean, there's a documentary on that.
Yeah, talk about... we can't go into it now because we don't have 4 hours, but if you want to Google that, look it up. It's pretty fascinating how that can be done with no technology.
Yeah.
So then you came here, did your master's.
And then I moved from the craziest house.
Did you work while you were doing that?
Well, as an international student, I couldn't. There's limitations and restrictions to how much we could.
So now you're just like living on the super cheap, right? Trying to not...
Yeah, but I had also... I had worked for Google. I had planned well enough and saved because I knew I was going to get, into that situation of debt. Yeah. So try to help me get out of that.
So once you're done with that, then what happens?
I actually got this internship in my last semester. So I moved to Tempe and I felt like, Miss Independent in this,
Hey, this place is nice.
I know, in this land where dreams come true and opportunity. Yeah. And the recession hit and I got a call in the morning while I was getting ready saying, okay, you're fired. You don't need to come in.
Oh, no. And what company was that?
They went under. It was a small startup. And it was just really sad, and that's when it really hit me that because I had seen a lot of business owners before that. While I was in GCU, we had a dollar store that was run by an Indian family right by GCU, and they had to close shop. We had so many small little businesses there.
And you were like, the recession hit the country, but Phoenix and Las Vegas, it hit really, really hard.
Significantly,
because we were riding this insane roller coaster of the housing market here.
Right, yeah.
And,
Yeah, and so those families really helped me. I mean, when I felt homesick or when I felt sad, I would just go up to them and no matter if they knew me or didn't, they would just be really welcoming. And it kind of really struck me when I got laid off, the impact and the intensity of just the recession on small business owners.
Yeah. So what did you do? Now you don't have a job.
Yeah, I don't have a job, so
Your savings are kind of like going down.
Yes. All that happened. I got a job as a business analyst with a contractor with American Express.
So how do you, you just went out there and I need a job. I'm going to go...
I used my networks again. My network, I actually also learned, because I got my MBA in marketing, but in order to be a business analyst, I needed to know SDLC methodologies, agile methodology, and I was studying.
You quickly turned around and learned.
I was like, I got to do what I got to do.
Adjusted, adapted.
Yeah, I have to. So did that, got the job with American Express.
Which location?
I was with a contractor with American Express, but I worked off of TRCN or TRCW. It's been a while. Okay. And then ADR here by Desert Ridge.
Yeah. That went to that one for a Toastmasters for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. I liked it.
It feels like a little India in there. There's so many. I'm like, I can wear a sari here. I remember wearing a sari and going to office, and that hadn't happened in some years. It felt so good. But
so then American Express. And
things, and then I realized how much I was really missing being in the advertising space. American Express helped because it helped me understand, because being a business analyst, it helped me understand that connection between management and their goals and tech teams and their deliverables. It also made me improve my knowledge with SQL and languages of that sort.
Okay.
So that
just
was
something like practical stuff and functional.
So that was a huge value add. I like to look at it that way. And so then I joined Digital Airstrike, which was just then a startup. They were about 8-9 people maybe in the team when I had joined. And that was an amazing ride. Helped them get their GM contract. Got them about 900 clients in a matter of 3 months.
Oh, wow. That's insane.
Yeah. Hired my team, trained them, pitched to clients, supported sales teams that were across the country, got that. And it's been a while. Just look me up on LinkedIn. It's been so long. And then I went to...
We're going to double check that all.
I went to BioVia,
right
e-commerce,
so.
Did e-commerce with health and wellness, about 40 countries.
So when did you get the idea that you're going to do your own thing by yourself?
When I was with BioVia, I learned a lot, not just about Google AdWords, which was what it was called then, but so much more, right? The Criteo aspect of things, the social media aspect of things, and we also did events. We sponsored partly sponsored a fashion show, did all of this stuff, and I knew I wanted to help, and I knew I wanted to be on my own. So I started freelancing, just back then. And then it just made sense, when the time was right. I had been saving up all these years.
So you kind of just transitioned. It just kind of shifted instead of like...
Yeah, and planning too, right?
Break.
Because you need to be able to live off certain aspects in a sense. So planning accordingly, and then when it just felt right, and I knew that... I think the biggest thing was when I was last with an agency and realizing how closed and opposed they were to change and innovation. We do it this way.
Do you think that's because this is how we make our money, not by, you know what I mean? Like we sell this. We don't. It doesn't matter so much whether this person's business succeeds. We are selling this.
There were two things, right? Yeah. One is the percent that you charge as an agency, which needs to be ethical in my books. Just because someone doesn't know, you don't charge them an XYZ percent. And that's one thing. The second thing is not innovating your processes because the tools you use will anyway innovate and you'll upsell that way isn't truly satisfying to me personally. If I'm using a YouTube and I know YouTube is going to do something with its platform that'll help me as an advertiser, I'm going to want to change my processes so that I can better leverage that. Not wait for the YouTube rep to call me and say, hey, we're doing this, you should do that,
Yeah, be ahead of the game. Right?
We are an agency, so people come to us because we have that creative upper hand in a sense, that strategically creative upper hand, and not using that, it was just a waste of time in my opinion. So I wanted to be able to provide a solution where we look at marketing as truly a business solution. Because it is. Marketing and branding is what helps businesses be seen. You can do what you do really well, but if nobody knows about you, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So that's where the numbers come in.
And so the thing I saw you talking about earlier, was it today, I think it was, how you can do some ads for $10 a day. Is that right?
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Is it possible for $10 a day?
Well, I did a test, and you can see, that's why the video I posted on Facebook earlier this week was because I want people to see that I'm not just speaking about this. This is stuff that I'm running tests with XN directly to see if really these strategies are working, if the optimizations are working. Now, trust me, I've done a few tests before that really were pathetic. But that's
good to know. You have to do it, right?
But that's the point of A/B testing. That's the point of testing, because you have to know and identify who your client is, what your client avatars you are targeting. And so my goal with this campaign that I ran was to get at least, I wanted to just test. It was just this random idea. I was like, let's just see if we're going to get any qualified leads. So let's actually make it a messaging campaign versus just look at my video and say bye.
Yeah.
That's a branding tactic again, but I want to be marketing, right? I want to be KPI driven and data driven. So we did this, ran it for one day, $10 budget, and I had a person at $9.99 send me a message. And even my messaging, though, I had customized for that. I'm like, do you want this consulting? Do you want to set up an optimization for your PPC campaign? Like really specific stuff. And she reached out and she clicked on one of them, and I reached back out to her. So that's huge. I mean,
for $10, like
exactly, for $10, if you're able to get that kind of business, then that goes to show that optimizations and testing is key, and that's why the data is key. So
you're working in Facebook, Instagram. What is your?
So my strengths are strategic. So marketing strategy, and not just with digital, but also with traditional, because there are some business owners who are in a sense apprehensive to do the whole digital aspect of things. and also some business models that need you to be out, in the field. So strategy is key to me, that I help businesses with, and then I help them primarily with their paid advertising, whether it's through social media, whether it's through search engines. I'm doing a test now on LinkedIn because LinkedIn advertising is huge. It's coming up. But to, again, understand what kind of avatars I'll be hitting if I am on LinkedIn, and how will that be efficient for me.
Do you have any sort of specialty type businesses you're thinking that are niche that you are successful with, or are you just like everything and anything?
XN is always open to anything. The biggest thing we at XN focus on is the client open to innovation and testing and creativity like we are? Because we don't want to be that agency or that coach, in a sense, a performance marketing coach that just has average results. We want to try to disrupt things and make you really have that branding effect as well, right? With the marketing. Like,
do you have some examples that you're trying to hey, look, this happened with this company?
So the industries that I have worked with and have the experience with is definitely healthcare and medical.
Okay.
And I'm going to put that up because I kind of dinged it down. And that's huge. Done some with education. Automobiles is significant to what I've done as far as experience.
Like auto, like people buying cars, or what?
Automobile advertising.
Okay.
So whether it's to your, not one, obviously, one would be your level at the brand.
Yeah.
2, 3. So it will be
the car dealerships.
Car dealerships, or at the regional level. So Southwest.
Okay. So
Acura dealers or something like that. And
that's worked pretty well.
Yeah, the individual dealerships definitely has worked. Healthcare is huge, and healthcare is also interesting because Google has, with their ads, even Facebook, they actually have these policies in place where you can't say certain things, you can't show certain things, and then you have the other aspect of HIPAA compliance. So having someone who has that knowledge to be able to
because you'll get shut down, and
you don't want to be blacklisted. So there's that. I know when I first started, I had this oncologist in Scottsdale who was like, Vrinda, I don't get any calls. I've been spending money on Google, nothing happens. And I'm like, don't hate the tool, learn how to use it. And he's like, I'll give you $250 max. That's about it. And I'm thinking in my head, you're an oncologist. You're in Scottsdale. Cancer Research Centers of America is here. What are you giving me? Why are you doing this to me?
That's like not enough money, is that what you're
saying? I know. Well, it isn't, right?
Yeah.
I mean...
Because they're spending a massive amount.
Search for anything on Google. Amazon is going to show up first.
Yeah.
It's like because they have the money. We don't have... So I had to get creative. And his website back then wasn't really the best. So I had to get really creative, and I came up with a strategy that was phone call. The metric was phone calls. That's what we were tracking, and we put in as much information that we thought that I believed his website didn't have to be able to qualify them better. And in 1 month, we were able to get him 27 calls of qualified leads, and he was like, "Wow."
Okay.
What just happened here? And I was like,
so then did he give you $1,000, or did you keep with the $250?
Well, yeah, right. But you grow then from there. Yeah. But that's the point I make is with small business, especially with small business owners, the apprehension comes because they don't use the tool efficiently. Yeah. And I have had.
And it's an expense at this point. It's not. It's not an investment. Exactly.
Yeah. And I've had business owners come and tell me, well, tell me how to fix it. And because I run my own campaign, and I'll do it. I'll tell you how to fix it. I'm not guaranteeing it'll work, because I can't guarantee that one fix will mean strategically you're on the right path. It's more than that.
Exactly. Yeah. It could be like taking your car to a mechanic. Just tell me, it could be this. Then you got to go check. Did that work? No, I don't know.
Yeah. And you're wasting valuable time, because in all this time, based off of your funnels of marketing, you can gather so much information from a Facebook campaign that why are you wasting this time? It's precious. You're not getting it. Your competitor's getting it. Like, hurry, They're like, ugh.
So you actually need to get moving. And it's interesting that you mentioned that, because there's a sort of a mindset of these days where people are very impatient with the growth, but they're slow to act long term.
Yeah, that's a very key point, because
and so you want to be the opposite, right? Like quick to act.
Proactivity is always rewarded, right? A lot of people do not plan. They don't plan for implementation. They don't plan for what happens when the results come. They're like, oh, when they come, we'll handle it. No. If you don't send that person their package today and send them a tracking number, you're going to get a negative review. I'm sorry, but you are.
Yeah.
You know, so to be able to plan, and planning doesn't necessarily only mean, oh, we have a plan in place, but also have the tools in place. You know, because
so what kind of tools are you talking about?
So with your packaging, you know, have a delivery partner that you're ready with. Have a system in place where, if you're getting into a market, for example, with BioVia, when we got into the Chinese market, we had a partner there. We had our systems. We did our testing for our back-end systems for our e-commerce store to work. We had a shipment partner that would help in China, because we had locally we figured out US, but China and over the, it's difficult.
Yeah.
So understanding that and identifying and realizing where to invest money and where not to,
That's fascinating. So how many years again have you been doing XN?
Oh, XN is just a brand new baby as itself. It is 4.5 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, 4.5 months old. I've been in the industry for over close to 12, 13 years maybe now.
Okay.
But I've been freelancing for a while now, and XN has already got some really good clients. We are not close to any kind of industry. We will accept, clients from any industry. But like I said,
as long as the mindset's correct.
Exactly. And that's why we don't do a 20-minute phone call before saying, oh, we actually do an hour-long consult. And I prefer that the consult is either a video call or in person, just because it gives us a little deeper understanding into who we're working with.
Right. There's a lot to be said for the face-to-face.
Exactly.
Too, right?
The body language says a lot. And also for them to understand if we're really, truly the right partner.
Yeah.
Because I said this to someone yesterday. We're not here to get clients. We're here to get customers. And when we speak of customers, we speak of relationships. That's why when someone says we want XN to come on, I believe that XN is their marketing partner. They're not hired. They're their marketing partner because XN wants to see their results work.
And so when you're not marketing, what do you do?
Oh, a lot of fun stuff,
Just normal human stuff, or what?
Yeah. I'm not alien. However, I'd love to be E.T. No. Yeah. I'm a dog mom.
Okay.
So the doggy and her name's Oreo. She is a boxer healer mix. Very energetic.
Yeah, that's what I saw on your Facebook. It said the car broke down. I have Oreo, and I was like, oh, I'll be right there. Oh, it's a dog. Okay. A box of Oreos. I would have driven right over.
That's funny. But no, I volunteer. I volunteer at a few different places, and I spend time with my dog.
So have you been able to travel around the country at all?
And that was one of my goals. I've been here now going on my 12th year, and I want to, and this is so embarrassing to admit, but I have exactly 12 states checked off my checklist.
That's more than me.
No, one state a year is pathetic.
I've been here 19 years this October.
You've been to 19 cities.
Let's see.
You've been to Phoenix. You've been to Peoria. You've been to Glendale.
Yeah. I've not been to the Grand Canyon.
What?
Nope.
Oh, my.
So,
Road trip.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to see.
No, yeah.
I've driven past it. Like, there was a sign that said that way, and I was like,
what?
I'm going home as fast as possible. From Vegas, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
See, that explains a lot.
I've been to a few states. It's taken a while.
Yeah?
Let's see. New York.
Yeah.
New York is fun. Chicago.
I've never been to Chicago. I want to go to Chicago and Miami. Those are two places I want to go.
I think I liked New York more.
Yeah?
But Chicago was all right. The pizza was good. Indianapolis.
Not been. Not on my list of I have to go visit it. Should I?
It was interesting, yeah.
Okay, I should. Okay.
They had great steak there.
See, I'm vegan.
So that's not going to be a thing.
Well, my dog isn't, so.
You could take him to the steakhouse.
I'll be like,
it's not for me. It's for
Oreo
over here.
What is this mad person doing? I'm like, I'm vegan. I can't force it on my dog.
And then, California, Oregon.
Yeah.
But other than, maybe Florida. Oh, yeah.
Vegas.
Now that I think about it, yeah, I've been to a few places now. New Orleans.
I like New Orleans. It's
you've
very
been there? Yeah. I guess they didn't. Did you find any vegan barbecue places?
No, I wasn't vegan when I went there. I've been vegan for 5 years now.
Okay. Cool.
My previous dog turned me vegan.
Dog or doctor?
Dog. Previous daughter? No, previous dog.
Dog. Okay. Yeah. Why? What happened?
She had cancer. And upon doing some research,
I found out the food you were eating is not too healthy, or.
And I proved it. Data-driven, right?
Yeah.
That's my mind.
You started writing it all down.
Doctors gave me 2 weeks with her, so I canceled my trip to go home. I remember it was around Christmas time. Canceled my trip to go home, and I was like, "All right, we're making this change, like cold turkey. We're doing it." And she survived 9 months. We went camping, we went hiking, we went all this fun stuff.
So they said 2 weeks, and it was 9 months. Yeah.
And even you could tell even after the chemo. Her first chemo was when she was just normal.
Yeah.
With her diet, and then I turned her I gave her some other foods, and
yeah.
Just the side effects, her appetite, getting into remission. Those are not just. I mean, I'd like to think they're also luck, but then luck is that's questionable
tell,
area.
Right?
I know. Well, with all the numbers and the data that I push into my life, I'm like luck.
There's still something to be said for that, right?
I'm like, all right, if you want to believe in it, let's humanize it a bit and not be as analytical.
Well, I guess, yeah, you could actually. I mean, if you think about where did you move to in that neighborhood, the people that you knew that could help, the day that you met that person, you could have met a different person,
But it's my initiative to go there. So it is my choice. I looked and weighed my options before I went there. If I wasn't there, nothing would have happened.
That is true.
So I controlled those choices.
Yeah. What if your friend never mentioned Google?
My family never mentioned Google?
Yeah.
XN probably would have started way before Google. Who knew? Maybe XN would be on par with Google. Who knew?
So you're already kind of, your philosophy, you're already doing the thing that is your makeup or your personality.
Well,
I like to. It's weird. I like to do these kinds of things where what? Not that you'll ever know the answer, but isn't it weird how this connection led to that connection, led to that connection, led
6
to that?
degrees of separation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that if you said yes, exactly, that's also data driven. Just an FYI, 6 degrees of separation. It says right there.
Okay.
You're like, I don't know.
It's not like some degrees of separation. Blake Smith, right? The DJ guy in our group.
Ingram, yes.
Yeah, last week he was here, and he said this interesting story where he went to a festival called Burning Man.
Oh yeah,
and
that's something.
He made a mixed CD of some stuff that he'd been practicing.
Okay.
And when he went there, he gave it to one person, and when the festival ended and 30-something thousand people were driving out of this place, he starts hearing his music, and it's like he's like, "Where did you get my CD?" And they're like, "No, it's on the radio." And so, that started his whole deal.
That's amazing.
So you think of those things like I was saying, you meet the right person, you meet this person that leads to that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I do believe in that gut feeling, though.
Yeah.
Over the emotional, the analytical.
I mean, you can go way back and say, "Man, I'm really lucky my parents met." They could have met different people, and I'd be in a very different situation. I might not be.
Friday night talk. This is all Friday night talk, not Friday afternoon talk.
Well, I'll just top up my drink here, and
I know, right? A little glass of red wine. Let's sit down. All right, now tell me, my friend.
Well, the philosophical, data-driven marketing.
Yeah, philosophy, right?
So, what's next? It's only 4 months into this. You want to grow. You want to. I get the impression you want to dominate a little bit.
Dominate just sounds too evil.
No. I mean in a fun.
I want to educate. Okay. I definitely want to educate.
Not in a dominate like we're gonna crush all you guys. Just be like, this is awesome. We're really.
Yeah. I want to educate and be the expert at what I want people to recognize, and that's a big thing. Again, I was at another podcast, like we spoke yesterday, at another interview, and it's ridiculous the how people don't focus and give integrity as much importance before the fact of signing someone versus after being burned, then they start looking for it, right? So education to me is key. I want to be that person who's able to educate business owners about the numbers aspect of how they can grow their business, but also help coach them to start training their mind to think more strategically. Because that's where growth is. Growth won't happen till you won't push yourself.
So it's more than just, point and click and that kind of stuff. You're thinking, okay, how do I fit into this whole, we do that a lot here at Smart Wrap too. Like people come to us with we want to get a wrap. Okay, why do you want to do that?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then, okay, well, what's the rest of your story and how does this fit in? Oh, you're going to be doing radio. Okay, or you're going to be doing TV, then maybe people would recognize that. Maybe that changes the design.
Yeah.
We don't want to have, you have other marketing, and then we come up and say, we're going to do multicolored thing. That people won't recognize it's the same company.
It has to be synchronized, really. It really has to be packaged, right?
Yeah.
And the bigger thing also for me is to allow business owners to be themselves. A lot of business owners are apprehensive. They're like, well, but this is what the market is saying. Like, have you seen, this big brand boutique or whatever? Well, they're a big brand. Before they started, everybody starts somewhere, and people will not purchase. Most purchases, unless they're driven by data, are very emotional. So if you're selling a dress, or if you're selling, a chef service or something, that's very emotionally triggered. It's like, I am tired, that's why I need. There's no logic of this is how much money, this is, I want to give someone a treat.
It's the logical thing to do is to buy that dress.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen, right?
And that's where
I want that. That's what's going to happen.
And that's where the branding aspect of it comes in, right? When you speak of the branding iron. For small businesses, they don't necessarily have the resources or the social web, in a sense, to create that impact of a brand, but they do have their USP, and that's themselves. And how do you really suck out all the benefits from that and implement it appropriately to get not just revenue, but also get customers and friends and people who will root for you and support you and share for you and become your brand,
That's a great way to look at it. Yeah. So as we're wrapping up here, maybe a choice nugget of information that could help somebody who's searching or thinking that they want to, what's one thing what takeaway that if you don't do this, it's not going to work.
Oh my, if you don't do this, you can have all the tools you want with advertising. You can be on Facebook, you can be on Google Ads, but if you don't have your analytics set up right, it does not make sense. Because it's the one platform where it's free, first of all.
Yeah.
Duh. It's a no-brainer, it's free.
Yeah.
But it's also where you can not only look at how much revenue each stream is generating, but how people are interacting with you and your brand. It'll give you so much more insight. It's like this mine, really, that you have to dig in, and you can get really deep into it, but you'll get such valuable information from what time of day.
Who's going to interpret all that stuff?
Who's going to interpret all that stuff?
Yeah, because I've set it up, and then I start to look, and I'm looking until I don't know what I'm looking at anymore.
Well, there's always me.
Okay, good.
If you're a
if
you're a tech savvy business owner, you'll get the basics of it. Yeah. But I do understand, because I have had these sessions with a lot of my clients, and it's overwhelming because it's like, wait, hold on, I don't know what my goals are. Yeah. I don't know how to set this up.
Depends on your personality type too, right?
Yeah.
So if you can sit and concentrate. Yeah. For several hours at a time.
Yes, that's huge.
I have no idea what that's like.
Yeah.
Because I'm, on to the next thing or doing something, and if I don't understand it in 30 minutes, it's really.
It's a value for time thing, right? Because how do you make the most use of that time? And so, if you are not able to make a story from the data you're telling me, then hire an expert. That's one thing business owners, small and medium business owners need to understand, is the value for time. Time is never going to come back. So if you can't do it, invest in the right person to do it for you and hold them accountable.
Yeah, and then you keep doing whatever it is.
Do what you're doing
selling,
good.
Right?
Yeah, do what you do best.
Yeah.
So that's what we do at Extend Solutions. We'll do anything from consulting to group education classes to helping you with implementation, or even connecting you with reliable service providers in the valley or anywhere else in the country, really. To be able to provide and help you with that.
So key is set up your analytics. Otherwise, you're just making stuff for no reason.
Yeah, otherwise you're losing out on so much precious information. It's sad. It just breaks my heart when someone says, "Oh, I have all of this, but I don't have analytics." I'm like, why? Yeah. Why? Don't do that. So
stop doing that.
I'm going to look at your website next and be like, Tim,
what kind of analytics do you have? Yeah, I have an on-off button.
Oh, no.
Website is on. Perfect.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
No.
All right, guys. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, and thanks for coming.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
We'll talk again soon.
Yeah, and don't forget, Think Data-Driven Marketing.
Think Data-Driven Marketing.
Right.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.